Walang makakahadlang, walang maiiwan, sama-samang lilipad sa pag-abot ng pangarap. Sa hamong kinakaharap, patuloy na aangat, sulong edukalidad. Ito ang Santo Domingo National High School Radio Eskwela, sumasahimpapawid sa KISS 108 FM, ang himpilan ng musika, balita at impormasyon.
Good morning to all the students who are listening right now of Senior High School, Grade 12. This is your School on Air in your subject entitled Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. I am glad that you are joining me in studying your lessons via radio. This is yours truly, Ma'am Maria Dolores Campopos from Santo Domingo National High School. Okay, be sure that all of you are in your comfortable zone and safe in your place wherever you are seated right now, and be ready for our discussions of our topic today. At this moment, I want you to get your Module 1 for our lesson about holistic and partial perspective. This is one of the subtopic under the question, what is philosophy? In Module 1, we will know why there is a need to philosophize and why human philosophize. We will also realize the value of doing philosophy and reflect on one's philosophy of life. So, better read your Module 1 and learn everything about philosophy. I am sure you will enjoy studying about philosophy. Okay, without further ado, let's start our lesson. Be ready with your pen and notebook so that you can jot down notes during our discussion. Okay, allow me first to read a short story related to our topic. Now, let's proceed to the story. Long ago, 6 old men lived in a village in India. Each was born blind. They were curious about many of the stories they heard, but they were most curious about elephants. They were told that elephants could trample forests, carry huge burdens, and frighten young and old with their loud trumpet calls. But they also knew that the Ra's daughter rode on an elephant when she traveled in her father's kingdom. Would the Raja let his daughter get near such a dangerous creature? These 6 old men argued day and night about elephants. An elephant must be a powerful giant, claimed the first blind. He had heard stories about elephants being used to clear forests and build roads. No, you must be wrong, argued this second blind man. An elephant must be graceful and gentle if a princess is to ride on its back. You're wrong. I have heard that an elephant can pierce a man's heart with its terrible horn, said the third blind man. Please, said the fourth blind man, you are all mistaken. An elephant is nothing more than a large sort of cow. You know how people exaggerate. I am sure that an elephant is something magical, said the fifth blind man. That would explain why the Raja's daughter can travel safely throughout the kingdom. I don't believe this elephant exists at all, declared the sixth blind man. I think we are the victims of a cruel joke. Finally, the villagers grew tired of all the arguments, and they arranged for the curious man to visit the palace of the Raha to learn the truth about elephants. When the blind men reached the palace, they were greeted by an old friend from their village who worked as a gardener on the palace grounds. Their friend led them to the courtyard. There stood an elephant. The blind man stepped forward to touch the creature that was the subject of so many arguments. The first blind man reached out and touched the side of the huge animal. An elephant is smooth and solid like a wall, he declared. It must be very powerful. The second blind man put his hand on the elephant's limber trunk. An elephant is like a giant snake, he announced. The third blind man felt the elephant's pointed tusk. I was right, he decided. This creature is as sharp and deadly as a spear. The fourth blind man touched one of the elephant's four legs. What we have here, he said, is an extremely large cow. The fifth blind man felt the elephant's giant ear. I believe an elephant is like a huge fan, or maybe a magic carpet that can fly over mountains and treetops, he said. The sixth blind man gave a tug on the elephant's coarse tail. Why, this is nothing more than a piece of old rope. Dangerous indeed, he scoffed. The gardener led his friends to the shade of a tree. Sit here and rest for a long journey home, he said. I will bring you some water to drink. While they waited, the six blind men talked about the elephant. An elephant is like a wall, said the first blind man. Surely we can finally agree on that. A wall? An elephant is a giant snake, answered the second blind man. It's a spear, I tell you, insisted the third blind man. I'm certain it's a giant cow, said the fourth blind man. Magic carpet! There's no doubt, said the fifth blind man. Don't you see? Pleaded the sixth blind man. Someone used our rope to trick us. Their argument continued, and their shouts grew louder and louder. Wall! Snake! Spear! Cow! Carpet! A rope! Stop shouting! Called a very angry voice. It was the Raha, awakened from his nap by the noisy argument. How can each of you be so certain you are right? Asked the ruler. The six blind men considered the question, and then, knowing the Raha to be a very wise man, they decided to say nothing at all. The elephant is a very large animal, said the Raha kindly. Each man touched only one part. Perhaps if you put the parts together, you will see the truth. Now let me finish my nap in peace. When their friend returned to the garden with the cool water, the six men rested quietly in the shade, thinking about the Raha's advice. He is right, said the first blind man. To learn the truth, we must put all the parts together. The first blind man put his hand on the shoulder of the young boy who guided them home. The second blind man put a hand on his friend's shoulder, and so on until all 6 men were ready to travel together in their journey home. Our story ends there. I hope everyone listened to the story. I know you already know each characters and what they are arguing about. How many characters are there and who are they? Very good. They are 6. Yes, they are the 6 blind men, including the Raja or the king, the gardener, and do not forget the elephant. It is also included. So, what is the moral lesson of the story? Do you see the truth of partiality and holistically? If you listen to the conversation of the 6 blind men, they are all asking questions about the things they experienced, right? Human beings are inquisitive or masyadong matanong. Ang mga bata ay maraming tinatanong sa ating mga magulang at mga nakakatandang mga kapatid at ibang mga kasama natin sa bahay, di ba? They are all still in the stage of curiosity and sense of wonder. At kahit tayo ay malaki na at matatanda na, mayroon pa rin tayong mga katanungan sa buhay. At hanggang ngayon, hindi pa natin nahahanap o natatagpuan ang mga kasagutan nito. Tama? Bakit kaya si ganito, hindi pa ako sinasagot ng oo? Bakit ba kailangan ko mag-aral? Ano ba gusto kong gawin sa buhay? What do I need to do to get better grades? Yan lang. Baka naman tamad ka magbasa at gumawa ng mga activities, kaya mababa ang grades mo. Why can't I have more friends? Baka naman masama ugali mo, kaya iniiwasan ka. Yan ang isa sa mga dahilan kaya iniiwanan ka ng iba mong kaibigan. O, may nakarelate ba? As we grew older, our questions are influenced by your experiences and circumstances. We find ourselves asking more serious questions like, ano ba ang pag-ibig? Or, what is love? Is love worth giving up everything? Where can I find true happiness? Why do good people suffer? Why is there injustice in this world? Why do I have to be a good person? What can we do to make our world a better place? Sabi nga sa kanta, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. So these are the deep questions we often encounter, especially in our conversation, in the books you read, the songs you hear on the radio, and even in the movies you watch. Habang tayo ay nabubuhay, marami tayong iniisip at tinatanong. We spend pondering many questions, and our lives become more meaningful because we search for answers to these innumerable questions. So this is the essence of philosophy. It is the search for answers to life questions. Now, let's go back to the story. In the story, there are two perspectives of thinking. What do you think are the two perspectives? Can anyone guess? All right. The first perspective in the story is the partial thinking. And the other one is the holistic thinking. Can we define and distinguish the two? Okay, let's define first the partial thinking. It is a perspective that focuses on specific aspects of the situation. The 6 blind men were focused only on the specific things they have touched on the body of the elephant. Am I right? Kumbaga, nakatutok lang ang isip nila sa mga hinawakan nila. Pero yung buong katawan ng elepante ay hindi nila nakikita. Kaya ang sabi ng raha o ng hari na naistorbo sa kanyang pag-iidlip dahil sa ingay ng 6 na bulag. Ang sabi ng hari ay, paano ang bawat isa sa inyo nakasisiguro na kayo ay tama? Or how can each of you be so certain you are right? Now, according to the story again, the Raha said kindly, "The elephant is a very large animal. Each man touched only one part. Perhaps, if you put the parts together, you will see the truth. Now let me finish my nap in peace." Sa palagay niyo ba, tama ang sinabi ng Raha? O baka hindi kayo mapalagay? Kumbaga, hindi nila naisip na malaki ang elepante. Wala pa silang ideya tungkol sa elepante, sapagkat hindi nila totoong nakikita ang elepante kasi bulag sila. Minsan, sa totoong buhay ng ibang tao, mayroon dyan na hindi naman bulag, pero nagbubulag-bulagan. Tama? O meron na naman nakarelate dyan, ano? Dako naman tayo sa definisyon ng holistic thinking or holistic perspective. Sino makapagbibigay ng definisyon nito? Alam ko, marami na sumasagot sa inyo dyan. Holistic thinking refers to a perspective that considers large-scale patterns in systems. This is often described as looking at the bigger picture when describing and analyzing a situation or a problem. There's another one definition. Holistic perspective requires an individual to have an open mindset and an ability to get the general sense or impression regarding a situation. Alin ba sa mga sinabi ng Raha o hari ang maihahalin tulad mo sa kahulugan ng holistic thinking or tinatawag din bilang isang malaking larawan o bigger picture? Sino ba gustong sumagot? Okay, here's some of the passage of the story said by the king. Each man touched only one part. Perhaps if you put the parts together, you will see the truth. And so, what is the truth? Ang katotohanan ay hindi nakita ng 6 na bulag. at ang totoong anyo ng elepante. Tama? Isa lang ang ibig sabihin ng hari. Kailangan, tinitingnan natin sa isang sitwasyon ang mga pangyayari, hindi lang sa isang bagay na katuon, kundi ay tingnan din natin ang malaking larawan upang malaman ang katotohanan. Kumbaga, huwag tayong patutok sa isang sitwasyon lang. Tingnan din natin ang pinagmulan o totoong nangyari. In other words, huwag tayong judgmental. Oh, may nakarelate ba dyan ulit? Alright. Did you understand the definition of partial and holistic thinking? I hope you can distinguish now the two perspectives. Now, let us have a recap. What was the first thing we've talked about? Firstly, we discussed and reflected on the story of the 6 blind men. And we discussed about the 2 kinds of questions that we human encounters in our daily life situations. It is the serious and deep questions, right? And lastly, we emphasize the difference of 2 perspectives of thinking. All right, we got it right. I hope all of you are taking down notes for you to review later and prepare for the short quiz. For now, let us have some series of activities that you will answer it in your home. Please listen and take note of these activities. You can also refer this to your Module 1. Here's the Activity 1. You can find it on page 8 of Module 1. Read the following news headlines. The news is already indicated in the module. And answer the personal reflection, also found in page 8. Then write it all in one whole clean sheet of paper. Did you get it? Here's the Activity 2. This is found on page 8 of Module 1. What words come to mind when you hear the word philosophy? Okay, so make a graphic organizer in a short, clean coupon band and write the words in a blank circles or in any shape you want. Take note of the pages so that you can follow the activities given. If you want to impress me, you can make some art with it. Ma'am Campopos is an art lover, remember? Okay, again, here's the next Activity 3. This is also related to our objectives. You can find this on page 13 of your Module 1. It is a process questions. And the last activity for this lesson is to make a Venn diagram. It is also found in page 13. Just copy the Venn diagram and write your answer inside on a short, clean coupon band. Also, again, if you want to impress me, you can make some art with it. Okay? That's it. Now, let's prepare for our short quiz. Are you ready with your pen and a 1/4 clean sheet of paper? Write your name, grade, section, and your strand. Write 1 to 5 items in your paper. Are you ready? Okay, here's number 1. So this is filling in the blank. Number 1, blank. It is a perspective that considers the bigger picture when looking at the problems and situations. I repeat, blank. It is a perspective that considers the bigger picture when looking at the problems and situations. Okay, number 2. Blank. It is a perspective that focuses on specific aspects of the situation or a problem. Blank. It is a perspective that focuses on specific aspects of the situation or a problem. Okay, number 3. Blank. It is an ability that requires an individual to have an open mindset and getting the general sense or impression regarding a situation. Blank. It is an ability that requires an individual to have an open mindset and getting the general sense or impression regarding a situation. Okay, number 3. Blank. It is an ability that requires an individual to have an open mindset and getting the general sense or impression regarding a situation. Blank. It is an ability that requires an individual to have an open mindset and getting the general sense or impression regarding a situation. Okay, next, number 4. Blank. People ask these questions to help them plan and decide on certain tasks. These are the questions that we often hear in everyday conversations, and it is influenced by our experiences and circumstances. Blank. People ask these questions to help them plan and decide on certain tasks. These are the questions that we often hear in everyday conversations, and it is influenced by our experiences and circumstances. Okay, last, number 5. Blank. These are the questions that we often encounter in serious conversations, in the books you read, the songs we hear, and even in the movies you watch. Blank. These are the questions that we often encounter in serious conversations, in the books you read, the songs we hear, and even in the movies we watch. Are you done? I hope you got it all correct. Ano kaya ang mga sagot natin? Perfect score ba? Alright, be sure to submit all your answer sheets every Friday on the scheduled release and retrieval of modules to your dearest advisors. Sealed it in your envelope, and most importantly, please indicate the title of the subject, the module number, anong module ba siya, pang-ilan, first module ba, o pangalawa, pangatlo, and then the title of the activity. And one more thing, when submitting your output, please separate your answer sheets. Do not insert it in your modules. Okay? Also, don't forget to write your name, grade, section, and your strand. This has been your teacher, Ma'am Maria Dolores Campopos. Now, signing out. Abangan sa muli ang susunod nating pag-uusapan sa pangalawang module next week. Thank you for listening. God bless everyone and stay safe.